Allegedly, the song Daughter on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album.
I love that one.
It's potentially a murder confession about Jay-Z's mistress, Cathy White.
Some are wondering if Beyonce is faking her baby bump after the singer appeared on an Australian TV show.
Wait a minute. Was Cathy White's unborn baby really dragged out of her dead body when she was unalive? Get in here, because this entire mess with Cathy White's case just took a turn for the absolute worst. After the feds came across new evidence that confirmed the initial autopsy, claiming that she died from an aneurysm was all made up, and that she was actually brutally unalived in her home. Mind you, Cathy was still heavily pregnant, and according to this new evidence, the baby she was carrying was actually pulled from her body when she was being attacked, and there's a possibility that the baby's still alive. Yeah, y'all heard that right. People already had their own doubts about the whole brain aneurysm thing, but this right here just confirmed everything, and the feds already have two people who we all know very well as the first names on their suspect list. The reason why people even started looking into this is because Beyonce released a song called Daughter that was part of her Cowboy Carter album. That song was a blatant confession to the unaliving of her husband's mistress, and at the time, people were confused as to whether the lyrics of the song were a confession to something that really happened or just a fictional story that Beyonce and her writers came up with for the album. In the song, Beyonce sang about how she was forced to unalive a woman who was messing around with her husband. She said she knew the affair was going on, but tried to act like it wasn't happening just to keep herself sane, because she knows if she was to react to it, she might end up doing the unthinkable. But get this, y'all. She went on to say that despite her trying not to react to getting cheated on, the mistress was getting arrogant and disturbing her solitude, and by the time she realized, she had unalived her. She then went on to say that she is nothing like the good girl folks think she is, and even goes on to compare her real nature to that of her father. The lyrics read, quote, "Your body laid out on these filthy floors, your blood stains on my custom couture. Bathroom attendant let me right in, she was a big fan. I really tried to stay cool, but your arrogance disturbed my solitude. Now I ripped your dress and you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do. They keep saying that I ain't nothing like my father, but I'm the furthest thing from choir boys and altars. If you cross me, I'm just like my father. I'm colder than Titanic water." Ooh wee. Now, like I said before, these lyrics might just be a fictional story Beyonce came up with in the studio, but folks felt like these lyrics was a little too detailed, and they even started linking it to the tragic death of Jay-Z's mistress, Cathy White, who was reportedly pregnant at the time of her death. At the time, it was reported that she died of a brain aneurysm, but as time went on, and with the recent surge of celebrities getting exposed, people have been looking into it again, and a few things just ain't adding up. You see, on August 28th of 2011, Beyonce announced that she was pregnant with Blue Ivy at the MTV VMAs. Fast forward to January 12th of 2012, Blue was born. But this is where things get messy, because in 2011, when Beyonce was pregnant, Cathy was also reportedly pregnant too. However, just a few days before Beyonce gave birth, Cathy mysteriously died in her home. And right at the start of the next year, which is January 12th of 2012, Beyonce also reportedly gave birth. People believe Beyonce was never really pregnant, and that she and Jay had Blue through surrogacy, with the surrogate being Cathy. You see, when it comes to surrogacy, specifically gestational surrogacy, the surrogate carries the embryo, but isn't genetically related to the child. The embryo is created using the eggs and the sperm from the intended parents. In this scenario, the child has genes from both the intended mother and the intended father, but none from the surrogate. People believe that this is why Blue looks like B and J, even though Beyonce never actually carried that baby. Now, in case y'all are wondering why people are convinced that B never carried, well, there is this video of her sitting down while having that baby bump, but as she was trying to sit, her belly caved in.
Must have been a fake baby bump, visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle, or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret. And yes, maybe Beyonce isn't actually pregnant.
People are now speculating that Beyonce allegedly took out Cathy after she had the baby because she knew Cathy would go right back to sleeping with Jay, and she didn't want that to happen. Not only that, but Cathy being alive would increase her chances of getting exposed, and she did not want to risk that. People also brought up this very evil and twisted poem from Beyonce's song Anger, in which she talks about how she would do anything, including wearing the skin and hair of her husband's deceased lover, as long as it's gonna be enough to keep him tied to her forever. Listen to this, y'all.
If it's what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized. You and your perfect girl.
The allegations got fueled when people dug even deeper and found receipts from Jaguar Wright and the popular blogger Hollywood Street King, in which they also alleged that Cathy was unalived and Jay and Beyonce were behind it. In this since-deleted article, Hollywood Street King revealed that he spoke to one of the officers who were part of the investigation for Cathy's death, and they told him that her death was a homicide and not a result of a brain aneurysm. The article read, "Yesterday, I got the news that Cathy Michelle White had suddenly passed away, so I quickly began my investigation, and guess what? Cathy did not die from a brain aneurysm as widely reported around the internet today, according to an NYPD detective who told me Cathy's cause of death is uncertain, and later today, we will have the autopsy and toxicology reports. Right now, the death is considered suspicious." He added, "A 911 call came in from an apartment on 130 West 19th Street in Manhattan. Ambulance came and took Cathy because she was sick. They took her to the Beth Israel Hospital, and that's where she expired. It was too early to be speculating that a brain aneurysm killed her. They will be doing an autopsy later today to check out the cause of her death, but someone might have given Cathy a bad drug. So they'll do a toxicology, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks for that report." 2 weeks prior to her death, Cathy was contacted by a major tabloid that was investigating the Jay-Z connection. She gave them little information to go on, but according to one of our sources, following her conversation with the tabloid, she called Jay and told him that she was gonna go public with their affair for a price. This all happened in the last 2 weeks. Then, little more than 48 hours after the announcement that Beyonce was pregnant with Jay-Z's baby, this young lady suddenly dies under suspicious circumstances. And then there's also Jaguar Wright, who also accused B&J of allegedly being behind Cathy's death and claiming that Cathy spent her last few minutes screaming for her life.
She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see? I mean, I'm just speculating.
Oh, but she wasn't done. Jaguar later appeared in another interview, and this time she went into more details about what happened, including how Beyonce allegedly faked her pregnancy and stealing Cathy's unborn baby out of her womb before taking her out.
Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Cathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress who died of an imaginary aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is you. And the boss's boss don't get no Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. Oof. I don't get no what you got in your head, that Neuralink. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Cathy. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
Apparently, Blue Ivy is actually the baby that Cathy was carrying before Jay took her out. And then there's the popular journalist Liz Crokin, who also accused Jay of being behind Cathy's death. Liz was actually gearing up to have an exclusive interview with Cathy about her affair with Jay just days before Cathy passed away. When Kanye West says Jay-Z has, I believe he's talking about the people who killed Cathy White. I was the reporter who talked to your alleged mistress right before she died / was deleted. I know everything. I know what you did. Go F yourself. Your time is coming. Maybe you and Diddy can share a prison cell together. Justice is coming. She added, it's only a matter of time before Spirit Cooking Jay-Z is exposed like Diddy. There's a reason Kanye said Jay's got I would know. He's evil to the core. I pray there will be justice for Cathy White one day. These idols will continue to fall. Mark my words. So as y'all can see, it's a lot going on. And even though all of this is alleged information, people are really convinced it's the truth. And they don't plan to stop digging into it anytime soon till they have a full picture of what really happened. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this. Like this person who said, Beyonce been involved. She a whole witch. What the hell was that poem? How can she be so ignorant as to talk about her crimes and people just listen and move on? My God, what kind of mass hypnosis is this? Another person said, Beyonce reading that poem was absolutely evil. She sounded possessed in the disgusting words. A person has to be pretty sick to even think of something like that. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Beyonce getting exposed for allegedly being behind Cathy's death? And do y'all believe the allegations that Blue Ivy actually is Cathy's baby? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.